If you've ever wondered if you could feel safe with God, well, you're not alone. There's lots of folks in Scripture who felt that very same way, and among them, you'd be surprised to learn Moses. We often hear Moses cast as a stuttering shepherd, when we know from history those in the household of the Egyptian kings were highly trained in every area: politics, warfare, astrology, the priesthood of Egypt's gods. Those were highly skilled and multilingual people. You would not likely be able to go without having any kind of speech impediment. Any aversion you have to public speaking would be driven out because it's kind of a part of your job. So why does Moses chicken out to the degree we see here in Exodus 4? When through most of the story we see he is speaking directly one-on-one with God, and it says, "Pardon your servant, Lord. I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue." The explanation may be relatively simple. We know from historic records in Egypt that they were severe punishments when religious obligations were performed incorrectly, up to and including disfigurement and ritual execution. So when God comes in fire to present himself before the people, they rightly may have some misgivings about his intent, which we see in Exodus as Yahweh introduces himself at Sinai. Moses' reaction then is a precursor of this. He's scared of being consumed, or worse. The other thought: there might be some conflicting understanding from Egyptian religion Moses is wrestling with. These gods typically do whatever they want, don't they? Am I safe with them? As to why Moses puts Aaron up to the task of high priest, he may be appeasing God by saying he's not clear-spoken. Pharaohs traditionally employed a high priest who is a close relative, someone they could trust, and he would serve as a political and religious leader, which outlined a young priesthood under Aaron well, keeping the law well enough to pass down. But let's not ignore God's frustration here either, and that he does enable an alternative. We so often are self-critical and doubtful of what we can do for the kingdom when God has given us everything we need, even when we felt we lack something. It's true when you hear God qualifies the called in this chapter. It's an extremely early example of the idea that God would put his words in your mouth to put in others' mouths, that he's making ways throughout all of this to enable his people to do the work and serve him well. We can all have that experience in the world, with an innate ability to do certain things and still doubt ourselves. But if nothing else, forget all about those gifts, those skills that we might have. Know that God himself equips you for the work, not yourself. So when you feel out of your depth or incapable of serving him, know that he has gone before you and made a way. Be blessed today, and thanks for listening.